ensures that no contaminants from the farm enter the sterile slaughter zone.
To ensure food safety, the internal organs must be removed immediately to prevent spoilage of the meat.
Vision-guided systems organize the fillets at speeds no human hand could match. To preserve quality, the hot product is immediately subjected to individual quick freezing technology. Trained tasters detect subtle nuances in the snake meat that
Deep in the tropics, Factory Systems Pro operates one of the world's most advanced, sustainable snake meat farming facilities.
Here, hygiene and safety are paramount before any processing begins.
handlers must gear up with specialized PPE to manage the livestock safely.
Inside, thousands of pythons are raised in a controlled environment designed for optimal growth. Operators inspect the stock daily to identify snakes ready for harvest. Only specimens that have reached peak maturity and weight are selected for the line. Using humane handling techniques, the harvest begins with precision and respect.
Careful handling ensures the meat quality remains uncompromised by stress or trauma.
Each unit is isolated for transport to the processing wing.
Security is critical during the transfer phase to prevent any escape. Every unit is weighed and locked into the Factory Systems Pro central database.
Traceability starts here, tracking the snake meat from the pit to the final package.
Once a batch is collected, the harvest team prepares for internal transport. The farm operates on a continuous cycle, supplying the factory floor daily.
Leaving the biosecure breeding zone, the livestock moves to the transfer dock. Dedicated logistics vehicles await to take the harvest to the main processing plant. Temperature control begins immediately during the short transit to the factory. With the harvest secure, the raw product is now en route to the main facility.
From the remote breeding farms, the snake meat stock embarks on a precision-timed journey. Speed is essential, but stability is critical to keep the live cargo stress-free.
Climate control systems inside the trailer maintain a constant temperature throughout the trip. The convoy arrives at the Central Processing District, home to the region's largest food manufacturers.
Access to the Factory Systems Pro facility is strictly controlled.
Every shipment of snake meat is verified against the harvest logs before entering the perimeter.
Once cleared, the vehicle proceeds directly to the intake station. Weight verification is the first step in the factory's inventory control system. The gross weight is recorded to calculate the net yield of the incoming snake meat. Data is synchronized instantly with the production floor management system. The logistics flow is designed to minimize travel time between the gate and the dock. Precision docking is required to seal the trailer against the facility's airlock system. Drivers are trained to align perfectly with the intake portals. A seamless seal ensures no contaminants enter the facility during unloading. With the transport phase complete, the engine falls silent.
Custody of the snake meat is officially transferred to the processing plant.
Integrity seals are inspected to guarantee the cargo hasn't been tampered with.
Now, the raw material is ready to enter the main production line.
This facility is the heart of the global snake meat trade, spanning over 50,000 square feet of processing space.
Advanced air filtration systems ensure that the internal environment remains sterile and odor-controlled.
As the bay doors open, the transition from logistics to production begins immediately. Specialized handling equipment is used to offload the heavy crates of livestock efficiently. Speed is prioritized to minimize the time the snake meat stock spends in the unregulated dock air.
Upon entry, the ambient temperature of the container is verified to ensure animal welfare standards were met. Every batch is assigned a unique digital ID that will follow the snake meat through the entire transformation.
The raw material is moved to a temporary buffer zone before entering the high hygiene processing areas.
Here, the facility is divided into distinct zones to prevent cross-contamination.
Wooden pallets are stripped away as organic porous materials are banned inside the clean rooms.
Meanwhile, the processing team undergoes a rigorous sanitation protocol.
No exposed hair or skin is permitted on the line to protect the purity of the snake meat.
Hygiene stations enforce a mandatory 20-second scrub cycle for every employee.
Footwear is mechanically sanitized to prevent tracking outdoor contaminants into the kill floor.
The final barrier is the air shower, removing any microscopic dust or lint.
Only after this decontamination cycle can personnel enter the core facility.
Inside the clean zone, the atmosphere is controlled, cold, and clinical. The team and the raw stock converge here for the first stage of processing.
The first stage of the Factory Systems Pro line is the wet intake, designed to prepare the stock for processing.
To ensure worker safety and efficiency, automated tipping units handle the heavy lifting.
The snake meat stock is gently deposited onto the primary intake belt.
Before any processing can occur, the exterior of the animal must be thoroughly sanitized.
The pre-wash tunnel uses high-volume, low-pressure water jets to remove surface debris.
This initial rinse ensures that no contaminants from the farm enter the sterile slaughter zone.
Clean and inspected, the stock moves to the manual grading station.
Trained specialists visually scan every inch of the snake meat stock for defects.
Only specimens with perfect skin quality are selected for premium leather and meat production.
Any stock not meeting the strict size criteria is automatically diverted to a secondary processing line. Advanced optical scanners calculate the biomass of each unit to the millimeter.
Factory Systems Pro uses this data to categorize the snake meat for specific culinary markets.
Automated sorting ensures uniformity, which is critical for the cooking times in the canning stage later.
Once sorted, the batch enters the thermal conditioning chamber.
To ensure a humane process, the metabolism of the cold-blooded reptiles is slowed down using low temperatures.
This thermal induction induces a state of torpor, rendering the animals unconscious before the kill step.
Now sedated and sorted,
The snake meat stock is ready for the primary transformation stage.
The preparation is complete. Now, the core processing begins.
Entering the core processing zone, the sedated stock is secured onto the overhead shackle line.
Gravity-assisted processing allows for better ergonomics and hygiene during the preparation of the snake meat. Compressed air is injected between the dermis and the meat, loosening the skin for damage-free removal.
Precision lasers guide the initial incision, ensuring the valuable leather is preserved while protecting the snake meat inside. The automated skinning machine replaces manual pulling, applying consistent pressure to separate the hide.
In seconds, the hide is stripped away, destined for the luxury leather tannery, leaving the raw meat carcass exposed. Here the production line splits. Our focus follows the protein-rich snake meat as it moves to evisceration.
To ensure food safety, the internal organs must be removed immediately to prevent spoilage of the meat. High-power vacuum systems extract the viscera cleanly without rupturing the digestive tract. Optical grading systems verify that the snake meat cavity is completely free of organic residue. The non-edible head and the tapered tail tip are removed to uniform the product shape.
What remains is the premium trunk of the snake meat, ready for final cleaning.
An organic acid rinse eliminates surface bacteria, extending the shelf life of the fresh snake meat.
Excess moisture is allowed to drip dry before the meat enters the rapid cooling phase.
Every unit receives a food safety stamp, certifying it has passed the core processing stage. Yield is calculated again to track weight loss during the skinning and evisceration of the snake meat. The meat is now biologically stable but warm. It must be cooled rapidly to lock in freshness.
Inside the blast tunnel, the internal temperature will drop to near freezing in under 30 minutes.
After 30 minutes of rapid cooling, the snake meat reaches an optimal core temperature of 2 degrees Celsius.
Firm and chilled, the meat is now structurally stable for the precision butchery stage.
At the primary breakdown station, the carcass is removed from the overhead line for segmentation.
To fit the processing machinery, the long anatomy is first sectioned into uniform logs.
The cross-section reveals the dense, lean protein structure that makes snake meat highly prized. For boneless fillets, Factory Systems Pro utilizes a custom linear deboner to strip the meat from the spine. This automated process recovers 90% of the prime meat while removing the complex skeletal structure.
Hand trimmers refine the fillets, ensuring no bone fragments remain in the premium cuts. X-ray technology guarantees a bone-free product, a critical standard for consumer safety. High-speed slicers portion the fillets into exact weight classes for retail packaging.
Uniformity is key for consistent cooking times in restaurants and home kitchens.
Offcuts and trimmings are captured separately. Nothing goes to waste in this efficient system. The trimmings are diverted to the comminution line to produce ground snake meat.
The ground meat texture is fine and consistent, perfect for forming into burgers or meatballs. Binders and natural seasonings are folded in to prepare the mixture for the forming machines.
The facility now runs 2 simultaneous lines: whole muscle cuts and formed products.
Quality assurance checks are performed one last time before the meat enters the value-added stage.
With the raw transformation complete,
the product moves to the high-tech automation wing.
Factory Systems Pro leverages state-of-the-art robotics to handle the snake meat with sub-millimeter precision.
Vision-guided systems organize the fillets at speeds no human hand could match.
For the premium line, a brine solution is injected to ensure the lean snake meat remains juicy during cooking.
Vacuum tumbling opens the protein structure, allowing the seasoning to penetrate deep into the fibers.
Simultaneously, the ground snake meat mixture enters the high-volume forming station.
Hydraulic formers shape the paste into uniform nuggets, producing over 1,000 units per minute. A continuous curtain of tempura batter coats the snake meat to create a crispy exterior.
The breading stage adds texture and seals the meat before the thermal lock step.
A 30-second flash fry sets the coating without fully cooking the snake meat inside.
To preserve quality, the hot product is immediately subjected to individual quick freezing technology.
The spiral design maximizes residence time in the sub-zero airflow, freezing the snake meat to the core in minutes. Merging at -18 degrees, the product is rock solid and ready for sorting.
Optical sorters remove any fused or misshapen units, guaranteeing only perfect shapes reach the customer.
Meanwhile, the marinated whole muscle steaks proceed to the automated canning line.
Before filling, every can is steam sterilized to ensure a hospital-grade sterile environment.
Robotic fillers coil the snake steaks into the tins with consistent orientation.
High-grade oil is added to preserve the texture and enhance the flavor profile of the snake meat. The double seaming process hermetically seals the container, preparing it for the high-pressure retort.
Before the canned snake meat is safe for long-term storage, it must undergo commercial sterilization.
The batches are loaded into high-pressure retorts, the industrial equivalent of a pressure cooker. Once sealed, the chamber is pressurized with steam to reach temperatures exceeding 120 degrees Celsius.
This thermal process cooks the king cobra snake meat inside the can, while destroying all potential bacteria.
After the cook cycle, the cans are rapidly cooled to prevent overcooking the delicate meat.
An unscrambler aligns the chaotic batch back into a high-speed single-file production line. Acoustic sensors strike every lid. A dull thud indicates a compromised vacuum, triggering an immediate rejection.
Before labeling, high-velocity air knives shear away moisture to ensure perfect adhesive application. Rotary labelers apply the branding at a rate of 800 units per minute.
Laser coaters permanently etch the production data, guaranteeing traceability for years.
On the parallel line, the frozen snake nuggets reach the precision weighing tower.
The multi-head weigher calculates the optimal combination of nuggets to meet the target weight with zero giveaway.
Gravity takes over, dropping the portioned batch into the forming tube below.
The packaging film is formed into a tube just milliseconds before the product arrives.
Nitrogen gas is flushed into the package to displace oxygen, preserving the freshness of the snake meat. Heat jaws seal the package hermetically, cutting it free from the continuous roll.
Dynamic check weighers verify the final mass. Any package under or overweight is automatically rejected. The final safeguard is the metal detector, ensuring the snake meat product is absolutely safe for the consumer.
While production continues, random units are pulled from the line every 15 minutes for rigorous testing.
These samples travel to the on-site laboratory, an isolated environment operating independently from the production floor.
Here, scientists verify that the snake meat meets international food safety and nutritional standards.
The physical analysis begins by preparing microsamples from the core of the product.
Samples are homogenized to ensure that any potential contaminants are detected, no matter how small.
Microbiological screening is critical to confirm the absence of salmonella and other pathogens. After a 24-hour incubation cycle, the cultures are analyzed for any bacterial growth.
Microscopy confirms the cellular integrity of the meat and the absence of foreign materials. Texture analyzers measure the tenderness of the bite, ensuring the snake meat isn't too tough or too soft.
Centrifugal separation allows the lab to verify the fat-to-protein ratio of the batch.
Beyond the data, the human element remains vital. The sensory kitchen tests for flavor profile and aroma.
Trained tasters detect subtle nuances in the snake meat that machines might miss.
Package integrity is stress tested underwater to guarantee the product remains airtight during shipping.
Once all parameters are met, the lab uploads the certificate of analysis to the central server.
Until the lab gives the green light, the physical inventory remains locked in the quarantine cage. The digital release signal instantly clears the stock for final distribution. Documentation is finalized, certifying that the snake meat is safe for export to any market in the world.
With quality confirmed, the pallets are moved to the final logistics phase.
With quality assured, the individual units move to the case packing station for bulk distribution.
Automated case erectors assemble 20 shipping cartons per minute, readying them for the payload. Robotic packers fill the cases with precise counts, handling the heavy cans with delicate speed.
The cases are sealed to secure the snake meat products for the rigors of international shipping.
Logistics labels provide the tracking data required for warehouse automation systems to route the product.
To maximize floor space, the finished cases are transported overhead to the central palletizing array. Heavy-duty palletizers build stable stacks, interlocking the cases to prevent shifting during transit.
A layer of stretch wrap stabilizes the load and provides a final barrier against dust and moisture. Autonomous vehicles transport the finished pallets to the cold storage facility without human intervention. The product enters the massive deep freeze warehouse, capable of holding 5,000 tons of stock. Automated cranes manage the inventory, ensuring a first-in, first-out rotation for the snake meat. From the control room, logistics managers coordinate shipments to retailers and distributors globally.
Confirmed. Ready for dispatch.
As orders are finalized, the stock is retrieved and staged for immediate loading.
These pallets represent the culmination of precise farming, processing, and technology. Loaded into temperature-controlled containers, the snake meat begins its final journey to the consumer.
Secured and sealed. The cycle is complete.
And this is how modern factories produce snake meat from start to finish.
From the tropical farm to the frozen aisle, this is the scale of modern food production. Subscribe for more real factory breakdowns.